Morning, everybody. As we know, World of Warships has heroic achievements and the normal achievements, and the heroic achievements are something that we all want to get, the double strike, the Kraken. Now today I'm playing with one of my long-time subscribers, Amadio, and playing with Louise, and we were just having fun. And I'm focusing on Amadio because in the Krasny Krym he pulls off the most insane match you'll see, and he gets the achievement that we all want. I'm going to leave it there. You have to watch the video to see what happens. Now, before I go, we live in trying times. Some countries are going back in lockdown. Tell somebody you love them. Tell somebody you care. Listen if somebody reaches out to you. I hope everybody has a fantastic day. Take care. Cheers. So today's replay is something very, very different. I'm playing with Louise and Armadio. Armadio has been one of the long time supporters of the channel. We're playing 5s and a 4. End up in a 7v7 tier 7 match. Talk about matchmaker being drunk. Now, we've all earned certain achievements in World of Warships. You've got your standard achievements, for example, Arsonist or Devastating Strike. Double Strike. No, Double Strike isn't one of the easiest ones to get. I think in over 6,000 games now, I've had 3 Double Strikes. Arsonist and Witherer, those are fairly easy. Just play a Conqueror or Smolensk. And then there are the heroic achievements. Confederate, Dreadnought, High Caliber, Kraken Unleashed. And again, Kraken, not one of the easiest ones to earn. I think I earned a Kraken last couple of months ago in Mauritius. And then there's a few others, and I'm not going to spoil it for you. Now, Armadio, as I said, one of the long time supporters of the channel, and he hopped onto Discord and said, "Hey guys, can I play with you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure. I mean, by all means." And he's a good bloke from Australia. So he's in his Krasny Krym here. Krasny Krym, however you want to pronounce it. I'm in my Julio Cesar, and Louise is in his Rhine. And Matchmaker was utterly drunk and threw us into a 7. Now you'll notice we're not focusing on me in my Julio Cesar, neither Louise on his CV. I'll bring you guys a Louise CV match later in the week. And what we have here is arguably one of the worst tier 5 cruisers there is. That said, Euro did a video on Krasny Krym about 3 months ago, and he calls it the Smolensk tier 5. So I think he took AFT or BFT and he got the range out to something like, what was that? 16 or 18 kilometers. Being a premium ship, you can actually use other captains in it. So if you have a Smolensk and you have a Smolensk captain available, you could put the Smolensk captain in this ship and have hilarious moments. Now there's me in my Julio Cesar, one of my absolute favorite ships. Not just because it's so good at tier 5, also because with the upcoming Italian battleships, like what's the tier 10, the Christopher Colombo, it allows me to actually train that captain up and have a relatively high skill captain for it. Now we're all sort of bombing here between B and C cap, and not quite sure what we're going to do. So eventually I end up standing there or doing a stand there next to that island with the sculpture, and I didn't realize that nearly all the enemy battleships were going to go there as well. So the Krasny Krym's detectability is terrible. I think Armadio said it's 13 something, so he's been detected. Don't know about what, we'll find soon. And he's moving in here in his little gap to go and support the shores here. Now, as you can see, the Krasny Krym is also not one of the fastest tier 5 cruisers out there. He's barely managing 27 knots. AA is not even worth mentioning. But it's got 130mm guns, which means you can use AFT and BFT if you wishes to spec into that, which is exactly what Euro does. And then he gets insane range. And with fire starter all maxed out, I think he gets 11% fire chance. So he's up against Surrey there, Surrey being the British heavy cruiser line. And there's his first fire on the Surrey. And the other thing about the Krasny Krym, it's got these 130mm guns all over the place. So the Pensacola takes out the shores. And as we see Armadio just turn and go in circles, Julio Cesar, me in it, takes out Kotovsky. And we see Armadio taking a second fire on the Surrey. And the Surrey hasn't damage controlled these because I think he used it before in the match on that against the shores. Now, unfortunately, we used to lose a buyer to Isakazi, but Armadio manages to kill this. Yeah, he manages to kill the Surrey. Now he's up against the Pensacola, and this Pensacola will live the most lucky, for lack of a better term, life during this game that you will ever see a ship. Now, Armadio doesn't want to go head to head with the Pensacola, because as much as we joke about the Pensacola and how terrible it is, the Pensacola also has 203 guns and it has AP that'll tear holes in him like there's no tomorrow. So you'll notice I went and settled nicely there into E8. I'm doing a stand. Unfortunately, there's a New Mexico, a Colorado, and a Leon over there. Yeah. 3 of the 4 enemy battleships against my poor Julio Cesar. Their Koenig burns down our Nicholas, and we are 3 down to 2. They're also taking C cap. We've got A, and they've got B. And we see Armadio moving in because he has some health left versus the Pensacola's 8,000. I mean, he's got 21,500 here versus the Pensacola's 8,000. But the Pensacola is now moving in. And do you think I could kill that flippin' Pensacola? I mean, that guy must have had an insane potential at the end of this map. At the end of this match. Well, we can also say at the end of the map, because he did sail to the end of the map at the end of the game. So not wanting to go up against a New Mexico over there, Armadio does the wise thing and starts heading for the cover of this island again. Now, unfortunately, Luis in his Rhine, he is properly buggered here. And yeah, he is being focused. Benjamin Tong in the October Revolution kills the enemy Koenig. Now, the October Revolution, I think it's a coal premium ship that you can buy. Tier 5 Russian battleship. And really well worth it versus, for example, the Krasny Krym here. We lose Luis in his Rhine to an enemy Colorado. And we are 4 down to 3. Now, nobody has managed to take C cap, which will be quite strategic later on. And as you can see, me and my Julio Cesar there, I've only got 3,000 hit points left. Yep, and then New Mexico finishes me off. I mean, Colorado, Normandy, and New Mexico, there's only so much that Julio can do. Now, the October Revolution is moving in. He's up there in D7, but he is moving down because he kind of realizes, look, this is where the enemy battleships are, and this is where we need him. And Armadio has gotten his Krasny Krym up here to 28.7 knots. Blisteringly fast. And there's that Pensacola, and he's on 4,000 health. And I'm going to spoil it for you, he survives to the end. It is insane that he could survive that long in a Pensacola.
Concentrate fire on the designated target.
Now we're down 5 ships to 3, and they are beating us on points. Not a good thing. Not a good thing to have. Now, one of the other things to remember is the Krasny Krym, as I call it, the Krasny Krym, does have 5 kilometer torpedoes. Unlike some of the higher tier ones, same as, for example, the Kirov that I play quite regularly. It has 5 kilometer torpedoes, not 4 kilometer suicide torpedoes. We see this Normandy doing the whole backwards maneuver thing. And with the relatively good fire chance that the Krasny has, he sets 2 fires immediately on the Normandy. Now the Normandy must have used his damage control previously, because he's letting both of those fires burn. The friendly New Mexico is coming in, and he is managing to actually turn beacon. We see the Normandy is damage controlled, and Armadio does a not-sir, and he beaches himself. Luckily for him, he is at a relatively good angle and should be able to bounce anything that comes his way. Other mistake that the Normandy does is he's firing HE.
The ship is on fire.
Knocks out the engine, unfortunately, and sets a fire. But as I said, Armadio is at a relatively good angle while he unstucks himself from this island. And I can see why Euro calls this the tier 5 Smolensk. Right, so the enemy CB has now started taking an interest in Armadio here. Obviously an easier target, as he sets another fire on him. So it was Louise's Rhine, and he was up against a Hermes, the tier 4 British CB. That a New Mexico manages to finish with Normandy and buys our team a little bit more time. Still, it's 3 against 5. Not the best odds. And there's that Pensacola there at the end with 762 hit points left. So now there is a Colorado coming in. Tier 7 if I don't get it wrong. So you got a Krasny Krym, tier 5, and it's a Colorado, it's a 7. But Armadio manages to set a fire again. And I think Wargaming is going to see a spike in Krasny Krym sales after this video, especially if you see what he pulls off later. Now with 2 cups to 1, our points are actually multiplying faster. Unfortunately, the Isokazi has torpedoed and thus flooded out the October Revolution, and that's 2 versus 1. And Armadio is detected here. And now we've got a Colorado steaming in at a furious pace. Now remember what I said about those 5 kilometer torpedoes. So the New Mexico is going ham on the Colorado. Colorado's about half of his health. And newer players, if you're watching this, look at carefully what he's doing. He's not shooting yet, he's not keeping attention to him. He's making the Colorado completely forget about him while the New Mexico is coming in. He's sneaking in. He's not targeting him with the guns to make him know that he's there. 3.6 k's from the Colorado, and remember, even if you had the 4-kilometer torpedoes, this would be more than close enough to do this attack. Drops the torpedoes, angles out. There's the Isokazi as well. He sets a fire. Colorado kills at New Mexico, but it's too late for him. Well played, Armadio. Now, unfortunately for Armadio, it's 1 against 4. We've got 2 of the caps though. A and B versus their C. Now that Isokazi was looking like it was heading around this little island, so Armadio pre-torpedoes there. If the Isokazi is coming around that corner, and it's purely a preemptive move. If he was coming around the corner there, he would run into the torpedoes or have to dodge. Now with only 1 enemy target left, the enemy Hermes is going to be harassing Armadio here for the rest of the match. We've got the announcer also saying, match ends in 5 minutes. So he's up against a Isokazi, a Pensacola, I think it was the New Mexico remaining, and a Hermes. And there's the Pensacola, still only 700 hit points. Armadio's got about half of his hit points left at about 12,000, but it just takes 1 or 2 good shells from a battleship to end him. The Krasny Krym is not known for its supreme tanking ability. And at 13.5, he's unfortunately out of the range of the Pensacola. So yeah, I can see he's not running BFT here. And with the points ticking up nicely, we can see 714 to 690 points. Now he is detected, so he knows that the destroyer is out there. I mean, the New Mexico's got his spotter plane up, and the enemy team has a CV still spotting for them. Fires up the hydro, just in time to see speedy death pylons come his way. Excuse me, everybody. You all know this happens. Oof. And that Pensacola is not an idiot. Well, just as I say that, he beaches himself. Can he get the kill here? Three non-pens, he gets a fire, but not enough to kill that Pensacola. Like I said, that Pensacola was leading the luckiest game here. It was just insane how lucky that Pensacola was. So he's detected and he sees the Isokazi, and the Isokazi has just turned B cap. So we're up ahead on points, but literally barely. The Isokazi was within 5 kilometers. It's not close enough, but the Isokazi comes out, and I have no idea why he did this. 5 shells and an incapacitation. The are torpedoes incoming, but he's still got a little bit of hydro left. And I suspect the Isokazi repaired that engine or steering damage there, and thus both of these fires are now burning. But Armadio's got a huge problem here. He's under attack. And he manages to kill the DD. Now that DD kill puts our team up by 100 versus their points. So we've got 825 versus their 750. Unfortunately, he's not being allowed to cap this B cap at all due to the incessant attacks by the Hermes. And again, I know at the moment there's a hell of a lot of hate towards CVs, but here you can't hate the CV. The CV is literally doing what he's supposed to. There is no other planes apologies, no other ships remaining on the enemy team. What's he do? He's supposed to do? Just fly around doing nothing. There's the New Mexico in the background as well. So there's still the Pensacola, New Mexico, and the Hermes. But it's denied them enough cap points that we're 849 to 774. And we see the clock is getting to 50 seconds. Can Armadio pull this off? The New Mexico really, really wants to kill him. I think the New Mexico has 30-second reload. So he might get one more salvo off. And the Hermes comes in for yet another attack. You would think he would learn his lesson by now. But not only does he need to keep trying to kill Armadio, as Armadio almost takes too many hits there from the New Mexico. Pensacola falls short, and the time runs out. And that means he gets that award that very few people get. So if we look at the after stats screens, 59,000 damage, and a solo warrior in a Krasny Krym. Obviously, stats-wise, top of the team. And if you look at the amount of potential damage that he took, that was over 1 million potential in a tier 5 Krasny Krym. Amazing, amazing. Solo warrior in a Krasny Krym. Never thought I'd see it. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have a fantastic day. Take care. Cheers.